Welcome to New Possibilities. With each new day, there are new possibilities. So earlier this month, I read an article in the Griot about KIia Patterson, a young African American woman who owns the grocery outlet in Compton, California. It's the first black-owned grocery store in Compton. Her store has organic food at an affordable price, and I encourage people in the area to support that grocery store. I will include a link in the description box to the Griot article that includes an interview of this sister, KIia Patterson. So I hope that you all check that out. It is very important that we own the businesses in our community. And this is something that we hear about all the time, but I hope that we can learn from this sister. I want to learn more about this sister. And I'm going to try to reach out to her on social media and try to interview her to get more information. In the interview that's on the Griot, she talks about how she got into the business. But I want to know more of the details, like how she was able to purchase this business so that other people can learn something from her and actually implement it in their communities around the country. Because it's about time for Black people to control the businesses in our community. I mean, most Black communities in the United States are not controlled by the Black community. Yes, we elect the politicians in these communities, but when you look at the businesses in those communities, very few of them are African American owned. Even in the most downtrodden communities, you will see that most of the businesses are owned by people who are not African American and people who do not live in the community. Many of these businesses are owned by Arabs, by Koreans, by Chinese people, by all these different groups of people except Black people. And that's a disgrace, man. It is a disgrace that here we are in 2017 and the Black man doesn't even control the businesses in the Black community. You go to other communities and you will find that those communities control the businesses in their communities. In most cities, you have a little Italy. In a lot of cities, you have Chinatown. In places like Pikesville, Maryland, you have businesses owned by the Jews. You know, the Jews have their kosher grocery stores and kosher restaurants, their law firms and other businesses, their hospitals and schools and all that kind of stuff, their own institutions they are building in their community. The same is true for Arabs. You go to Dearborn, Michigan, you will see a lot of businesses with Arabic writing on them. You will see the stores and other institutions owned by the Arab. These people are making the most out of their opportunities, and we need to do the same. And I'm not saying that the conditions are the same. I'm not saying that the lending system is fair or any of that stuff, but I think that we need to do more to build businesses in our community. And we need to follow the example of those who are successfully doing so, those successful Black business owners. We need to follow their examples and we need to hear from them. How did they do it? How did they raise the capital to set up a business in the Black community? And this sister has a large grocery store. It's not like a corner store or anything like that. It's not a small grocery store. It is a full-scale grocery store that sells all kinds of products. And we need to emulate that. We need to have more examples of that because it doesn't make sense for us to be completely dependent on others to feed us, to clothe us, to house us, to employ us. We need to get into a position where we can own more of these businesses so that we can do something for ourselves. We have to do that. Instead of us like Malcolm X said, anytime you have to depend on your enemy for a job, you're in bad shape. And that's what we do. We depend on others to employ us, to feed us, to house us. Just like children. I mean, we have to get to the point where we are maintaining our own communities. And this sister is a beacon of hope. She is an example of what we need to do. We need more KIia Pattersons around the country owning grocery stores in our community, owning banks in our community, owning more law firms and uh, doctors' practices and all that kind of stuff, doctors' offices. We need to build more institutions in our community. So I just wanted to lift this sister up as an example of what can be and what should be. And with that, I'll just say this: please rate, comment, and subscribe.